All right, good morning, good afternoon. Just want to say thank you for everybody for being here. Obviously, it's been, last few days has been a whirlwind, but that's part of our business as we always try to be the standard and set the standard here at Southern University and also in the SWAC conference. Once again, anytime you have to remove a person from leadership is always a tough situation. And we know that Coach Graves has been around here a long time, was successful with Coach Rouge. He has had a great career himself. But like I said a couple of days ago, it doesn't mean that you're a bad coach. Sometimes it just means that this situation doesn't fit. And so we know that we've really been struggling as a football team. And the moral of the story in a lot of ways is that you don't want to lose, but you can accept when you lose some games. But it's tough to look at it, and you have to find a solution when you're not feel like you're competing for the entire game. And I think that got us to this point. We know that we have some pretty good talent in the room, in the locker room. Based on last year, we thought that we brought a lot of people back. Coach Graves was here to keep people from transferring, and it looked like it was working very, very, very well because we know about the portal. So we retained a lot of guys. And obviously, I don't get off into preseason picks, but we were picked to be one of the better teams in our league. And to be at this point halfway through the season, that's pretty tough to accept. And so, you're not there every day in their private space in their locker room to know what the problem is. But we know when we accept head coach's position that it all starts with us. Fortunate enough that we have some tremendous talented coaches on our football staff. And as we were trying to figure out the plan of action, we came to the conclusion to remove Coach Graves and bring in an interim coach because we had a person with a dynamic resume that I felt could get us through this point because he had the experience of being a head coach, make tough decisions. And I literally have seen his teams probably not with the most of talent or the best of talent all time, but a team that fights and wins. And so I think with his wisdom and his leadership the experiences he had before coming here at Alcorn and the success that he has had, and also leading his staff, be able to speak to coaches and get an understanding of the expectation, made this decision at this point that we had to do it so we can get ourselves back competing very hard, showing the pride of Southern, and also for our fans that have expectations. And so we're going to move forward with Coach McNair as the interim coach to guide us the rest of the season to what I think and he thinks that we have the capabilities of being able to win the rest of our games and definitely being able to compete to the end. And so I will introduce to y'all the interim coach for the rest of the season, Coach McNair.
Ready to be a Jag. You're on the bluff. I just want to thank Coach Banks for giving me the opportunity to come in and fulfill the shoes of the previous head coach, Coach Graves. I embraced the opportunity to be here. I've been in this position before, but not stepping in as an interim. But this is a great opportunity for us and this coaching staff and these young men that we are coaching each and every day to press forward, to finish the season very strong, just give each other an opportunity to be successful at the end. And just appreciation that the administration really gave me, really thought about me, and to give me this opportunity to come as an interim coach, provide my expertise to the staff and to the football men that we coach each and every day. So I'm going to embrace the opportunity, do the best that I can, put the best foot forward, and press on to finish up very strong at the end of this season. We've got 5 games left, and we're going to start with FAMU on Saturday for our first opponent during my interim process.
Coach, what was the conversations like with the team after the decision was made and you were named interim?
Well, of course, you have players with different looks at things, and in terms of change coaches and how they felt about Coach Graves, and everybody really embraced him when he was here as a coach. He did a great job, I thought, as a coach, communicating with the young men that we coach every day. So after having a meeting with him last night, it was very, very good. I felt very, very good with the response that we got from him during the course of practice last night. They was very energized, and we're just going to continue to press on in terms of getting the young men upbeat and what they have to do to win the next ball game come Saturday.
With y'all being 4 games out of first place, I mean, that's a steep hole to climb out of. I mean, what's the main thing that you want to accomplish in these last 5 games?
Really just getting the first one on Saturday. Getting the first win on Saturday. I mean, we can talk about on down the line later, but the biggest thing for us is getting this first one on Saturday against FAMU, and it's going to be a process. Today we're going to be a very intense practice, as always, and we're going to make sure the young men understand what we're trying to do as coaches. Make sure that we put them in the best position to be successful on the field during the course of the week, and of course on Saturday as well. So it'll be very challenging for us, just to make the young men understand that as coaches we're here for them. We're here to get the best out of them, and we're going to treat it that way.
Coach, you played against Southern. You coached against Southern, very successful against Alcorn, at Alcorn against Southern. What made you decide to come to Southern University last year? What was the decision you made to say, I'm coming to Southern? And was that a shock to you when you did that?
Not really. I had other opportunities to go other places, and Coach Graves, I knew Coach Graves going way back, and we've been friends for a while. And just him to call me and just offer me an opportunity to come here and coach was very exciting to me. I was just sitting at home, and I had other coaches calling me about coming to their place and doing the same thing. But just a glance that I knew Coach Graves, I knew how he coached and what he meant to a program in terms of what he could do to lead a program. It was a very easy decision for me. And I've coached against Southern so many years, and the choice wasn't hard. I mean, I was very excited about it. Him giving me the opportunity to come here. So when I came here, this wasn't my intent. But like I said, I thank Coach Banks for giving me this opportunity to be an interim coach and just get this program moving forward in the best way that I can.
Will you call offensive plays?
Yeah, the thing about calling plays is it's a collaborative thing that where offensive coaches get together and put together a game plan. So I've been calling them for their last few games since the Alabama State game. So and we'll continue to do that. We'll still collaborate with the other assistant coaches in terms of what we need to do game plan wise, and get on the field. We'll make the best decision to move this offense forward. For us calling offense, and I will have the headsets on.
Do you think y'all made any progress as an offense since you've taken over as play caller?
I've seen several giant steps in terms of what we do. It's just that we shoot ourselves in the foot. We have drives going. This previous game, we had a drive going, and we fumbled. We had another drive going. We got a personal foul. And it's hard for any play caller to go second and 20, second and 21. I don't care what league you're in, second and 21 is a tough decision. To being in second down and 3 or something like that nature. Now the playbook is open. But being on second down and getting behind the sticks, you know, it's challenging for an offensive play caller to make those calls and put yourself in a situation where you can manage down the situation. But anytime it's 1st and 15, now you're trying to get at least half of it back on the next call. So you could be in a second and medium or third, whatever it may be. But it's always hard as a play caller. And we look at those things too as well, in terms of what we call it and how we call it, that maybe we can execute well.
Yeah, kind of going off to that, you being the interim head coach, can we expect any personnel or system changes coming to the offense to kind of get them going?
Well, the biggest thing is, I think they're going. I think that the part when I had a conversation with my quarterbacks yesterday, in my meeting yesterday, and I told them to start with us as quarterback. We start in that room. And that's the biggest thing. We are the guys that with the ball in our hand 100% of the time. And we have to make the best decisions for our offense as possible. And sometimes we don't do that. And they understand what I was trying to talk about yesterday in terms of our meeting, in terms of what we need to do to execute well, and to start with them. And they understand that. Both Ashton and Cam, they understand that now. So we just got to get those guys on cue, just to communicate things well. We had a false start that we shouldn't have had. Stuff like that gets behind the chain. It kind of happens a little bit.
Do you feel like these last 5 games will be your audition for the job full time?
Well, the biggest thing is about that. I'm gonna put my best foot forward, and once the chip lay, they lay. And at the end of the day, it's gonna be the administration decision in terms of what they do for us next head coach. But I'm gonna put my best foot forward in terms of what I got to do to win the next 2 ball games that we have left on our schedule, because that's my job now. Put this team in the best position to win, make sure that the staff is doing what they're supposed to do, and also make sure that the young men, the young student athletes are doing what they're supposed to do as well.
Is there anything you would like to do differently moving forward?
Yes, win some games. That's going to be the biggest thing we have to do, win some games. I think that would ease everything off. And once you start winning, I know Houston Nutt said it one time when he was in Arkansas. When you're winning, you're having fun. When you're having fun, you're winning. And that's something that always stuck to me. I even tell the guys this now in my meeting. You know, when you're winning, you're having fun. When you're having fun, you're winning. So it ties together. So that's the biggest thing. But just moving forward, just making sure these young men understand what they have to do to answer your question in terms of the course of practice and the course of during the process of the game. You know, not making mistakes, executing, you know, being on time for things, not being late. That's something that Coach Graves emphasizes all the time. You just gonna press the button a little bit harder.
What about the defensive scheme?
Well, we talked about that during the course of the meeting. You know, the staff meeting this morning. It was a conversation. You know, but you know, as a head coach, it's something that we talked about. You know, I can't elaborate on that here in front of the camera, but it's something we talked about. We're gonna try to get it corrected in terms of what they got to do defensively, special teams, offense, everything. So we got to get it all fixed in a timely manner.
From your point of view, what has been the biggest problem playing Southern this year? Like how hasn't been competitive and just underperforming on all 3 phases?
And I think the one thing is just getting behind the chains offensively and not being able to execute the plays. I think that's one of the biggest things offensively and defensively. You know, getting off the field on 3rd down. You know, 3rd and long, we got to get off the field. We got to get the ball back to the offense. In the same way, vice versa. Offensively, we got to sustain drives and make sure that defense is getting the rest that they need. Special team, we got to flip the field in terms of what we do special team wise. I think that what we're going to do is continue to press on with all 3 phases of the game in terms of what we need to do to get this team to where it needs to be.
How do you keep the players bought in to finishing out the season strong and that kind of thing?
I got a lot of attention last night. In terms of what I told him and what my expectation was from him in terms of moving forward. You know, the little things that really matters. In terms of my coaching, just the small stuff that they got to fix. And I think last night was a pivotal point that I really got to attention where all eyes was on Coach McNair last night and not on the water bottles. So we did kind of give a little feedback on them in the course of the meeting. During Coach Banks, let Coach Graves speak with the team after that. So a lot of attention.
What's the health status of Jalen Woods? I saw him warming up last week.
Well, he's gonna be out there. He's gonna be with us for a while. He's gonna continue to do what he needs to do until he feels comfortable. When you have multi-concussion like Jalen Woods, we get kind of serious after about 2 or 3. So we're gonna keep our eyes on that. I think Dr. J been doing a great job of monitoring the situation with him. We even got concussion helmets for him to make it better for him, make him feel comfortable as well. That's one of the things that when you sustain a concussion like that, you got to feel comfortable going back out there playing. So because the next time may not be something that you can get up on.
Any more questions from that coach right there?
What do you say to the fans that may have checked out to try to get them back in with the remaining games on the schedule?
I just encourage them, just to stay with us, stay to the end. No matter how this thing they're paying out, you always get some good out of it. And I encourage all of them to keep the season ticket, keep filling the stands, and just come on and be supportive because these young men, they need to see people in the game, regardless of wins and losses. I mean, we don't go out there to lose ball games. We go out there with intention to win each and every one of them. So I just encourage them to stay focused on us and give us an opportunity to come back and on Saturday, be attentive. We've got a good ball team coming in at FAMU. We're going to try to win.
Thanks, Coach McNair.
Thank
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you very much.
So today,